Hey, Josh here. So basically, I was asked recently what I thought of the Suicide Squad movie. I went to go see it with the girlfriend. So I actually did sit through the whole thing, watched it. I know some people hated it, some people loved it. But I gotta say, here's my thoughts personally on it. And you can take it as a review, or however you want to take it for those who are interested. The Suicide Squad movie had potential. I do think they squandered it. Too many storylines, too much. It was convoluted, to be honest. Not to mention, don't get me wrong, Will Smith, I think, did a fine job as Deadshot. But it got to the point where it felt more like a Will Smith movie instead of a Suicide Squad movie. I think the Harley Quinn actress, can't remember her name off the top of my head, did a great job of playing Harley Quinn. I even think Jared Leto as the Joker did a fine job as a Joker. Now, I'm not saying I loved it. Now, if I saw it in another movie, I might be able to say whether I like it or not. But as his version of the Joker that is not some carbon copy of any previous Joker, I think he did a good job. He walked a fine line of crazy and being rational, being the gangster Joker, being a little like Heath Ledger. I mean, he kind of cobbled together a lot of different Jokers. So I really need to see him in another movie just to decide whether I actually liked him or not. Now, that aside, as far as the whole story goes, it sounds basically like a Suicide Squad plotline. However, there were some takes on the characters that I wasn't too fond of. Killer Croc, for example. I couldn't tell if they were going more for the Batman the Anime Series Killer Croc, which you could tell was Killer Croc, but really was mostly human for the most part. Or were they trying to go for a little bit more like the Arkham video game series, where Killer Croc basically was like hulked out. Like he had, like you knew the skin problem he was supposedly had, and you could see how that went just way out the window. So it felt like they picked a middle ground that was ultimately very unsatisfying, though he had a few good one-liners. That aside, Captain Boomerang felt like an add-on. You really could have done without him. Most memorable contribution was throwing the boomerang that acted like a little spy boomerang. Aside from that, I could go into more detail about individual plot lines, but the movie itself felt convoluted. The songs were nice, though it felt kind of like a giant playlist of what people hoped was hits. And I gotta say, I do wish there was more of Jared Leto in there, because it kind of felt like there was more of a story to why the Joker was doing what he was doing. And allegedly, I'm sure you've heard, Jared Leto said there was enough for a whole Joker movie as far as what was cut out. That being said, I don't know if I'd recommend going out of your way to buy it when it's brand new. If you can catch it on sale, $10, great movie. Cheaper than that, amazing movie. $20 though for a brand new movie. You gotta really love some of these characters of the Suicide Squad. You really gotta love the superhero, I guess in this case super villain type movie, to want to pay for it. I'll probably buy it when it comes out, mostly because I did like it. It was enjoyable. There was some great moments there in the movie. Special effects were pretty good. Overall, though, it felt really convoluted, more like a Will Smith movie. Which, I gotta give him credit for carrying the movie the way he did. That is my brief take on it. I'll probably figure out some way to sound more critic-like in the future, but to those who haven't seen it, if you're a fan of DC, if you're a fan of superhero movies, and generally speaking, you like them no matter what, it's probably worth you seeing. If you've been more critical of stuff like Man of Steel, and in particular, if you were not a fan of Batman vs. Superman, then I would probably tell you, catch it when it's on sale. Rent it even. Do the Redbox deal. Get it for, what was Redbox? Like $1 a day. Would I say it's a bad movie? I can't say it's a bad movie. I just can't call it a great movie. And depending on which aspect of the movie I'm looking at, I can't call it a good movie. But I wouldn't call it bad. It's just convoluted, mediocre, run-of-the-mill at times. And the characters really should have been thought of more carefully. Deadshot was good enough. Harley Quinn was great. Still on the fence about the Joker. But the rest of them, kind of meh. Captain Boomerang felt like an excuse to show the Flash for 5 seconds. But that's all for now. Thanks for listening.